what are other tools that you started picking up and certifying on? And is it because you found them early enough, or you just use them and like them, or how are you picking tools to associate yourself with? Sure. Because it's also branding and visibility and marketing for you.
Yeah, I mean, I will say I'm grateful for Notion. It's a good SEO driver, but I'm very much, if we are going to build this business, we can't be reliant on one tool. Yeah. We just hit 100 million users on Notion. But also, let me clarify, I am not a Notion employee. In case it's not clear, Notion does not pay me for anything. But, I'm also a pessimist. If they shut down tomorrow and I've built this entire brand on one platform, I have nothing and I'm going to have to start from zero, which sounds exhausting to me. And so I have always been a huge champion of the tools that I personally use, right? And how do I build a relationship with those tools instead of seeking out like blank tools that I've never used? So a great example, I've used Paperform since I've started freelancing. I found them again on a Google search. I need a form tool. I hated Typeform. I hate that their UI is only one question at a time. And like my brain, I'm like, this works so slow. Like I should be able to answer the next question as I'm typing in the previous one. That's just how my brain works. And
I also feel like it's too expensive.
It's also extremely expensive. Their webhooks are trash. Their APIs Anyway, I'm not a fan of Typeform. And so I Googled.
Typeform, sponsor me.
No. Give me an affiliate though. But yeah, so I Googled form tools and Paperform had come up. I was like, oh, what's Paperform? And it was one of the first tools I actually paid for in my business. So I've been with them since my design days. And I got really close with their team. I did a couple of videos with them. I'm like one of BFFs with their marketing team to this day, like shout out, love them. And so they were developing a certification and came to me and they're like, hey, do you want to go through this and like give us feedback? And I'm like, yeah, sure. So I'm their first certified global expert for Paperform. And that set the tone. I was like, cool, I've got Notion, I've got Paperform. Like those are the like key tools. And then I got into Cal.com because Calendly kind of fucked me over on some partnership stuff. And I was like, jumping ship there and found Cal. I'm really good friends with their founder. And yeah, it just kind of like, I was like, okay, what's the next box to check? What's the next, you kind of have like a list of your tech stack, right? Like what belongs in your ecosystem? Finance, accounting, invoices, whatever, right? Like, and you've got to fill that box. And so I have now since started networking with the tools that I'm not an expert in and saying, hey, like I'm consistently putting clients on. I don't need an affiliate at this point. I want a partnership with y'all. And so I have a couple of contracts now where I'm on retainer for 10-ish hours a week, and their customer support team, if they have a new user who needs like outside of like, how do I do X, right? That you can just like use an AI to answer from the wiki, they will ship that client to me to do setup, to do training, and then I just bill that brand for the time and they pay me. The client, the new user doesn't. And that's been a pretty nice new model for me. But I'm also very picky and choosy. So like a great example, South by last year, I went to a HoneyBook event. Do you know how many people I move off of HoneyBook? I mean, every solopreneur.
I don't even know what HoneyBook is.
Oh, okay. So HoneyBook is an all-in-one tool. So Notion is not an all-in-one, right? You can't do invoices, you can't do contracts. Well, you can do contracts, but anyway. Yeah. So HoneyBook was built for photographers, specifically wedding photographers. And they have a sales pipeline. You can send, they call them brochures, they're proposals.